we don't always know that other person, but if we act like with integrity, like we were just talking about, if we act out of love, then I feel like it just makes people just more comfortable in general.
There you go. Oh, we got some witnesses out there. Come on. Look.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the COR Focus podcast. I'm your host, Jeremiah Riggins. And today we are doing a podcast with the Interfaith Youth Alliance. Today's theme is using our faith as a moral compass for social action. On my left, I have Shanine, who is Jewish. I have Sama, who is Muslim. Hasina, who is Christian. Nilofer, who is Muslim. Leanne, who is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And Rabina, who is Sikh. So again, this is a discussion about how our faiths influence our moral compass when it comes to social action. So we have two questions for our panelists today. The first question is, what do you care about? And I'm just going to ask for any volunteers for this one before I just ask someone to answer. So the first question, what is it do you care about when it comes to your faith and how it relates to your moral compass and social justice in action?
I can answer this one. What do I care about? As a Jew who is a person of color, I care that there would be more acceptance to Jews that are people of color, because there's not a lot of acceptance with a lot of, Jewish communities with that. And just more acceptance, to everyone, everyone's religion, everyone's, faith, their ethnicity, their race, everything, That's what I care. That's what I want to happen. That's what I care about.
Thank you. I can relate to that too, being a Black person in America. Definitely the racism does exist. And in my faith as a Christian, it says that if you don't love your brother, your sister here on earth, then how can you love our God? Yeah. So just being accepting of everyone's identities, not just their faith, but their race, their ethnicity, everything. So thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to answer? What is it that you care about?
One thing I care about a lot is just being a good person in general, because it's really good to follow after the footsteps of our prophet, and he was always a really good person and always helping other people and just being a really selfless person. So that's really important and something I try to focus on.
Thank you. Anyone want to add on to that or answer the question, what is it that you care about?
Well, for me, I think in my faith, some things that we do are we keep our covenants to our Heavenly Father, and we also we keep the 10 Commandments as well as Christian. So I think that has kind of translated in my daily life, just trying when you're keeping these things, you're encouraged to be a good person. And so something that I do is I make sure that the environment is clean. So when I'm walking around school, campus, you gotta pick up trash. And then sometimes I'll be in mid conversation with people and I'll be hold on. And they're okay. But just being a good person, making sure that there's no one sitting in the corner alone. Just tap on their shoulder, ask how their day is.
Yeah.
Did you want to?
I agree. I think, yeah.
I definitely resonate and agree with that too, for sure. Anyone else? What is it that you care about?
I can go. One thing that I care about as a Sikh person would probably be in connection with my faith, would probably be equality and standing up for others who just can't stand up for themselves. Either they're unable to or they just don't have the means to. Because in our faith, it was born during a time where there was a lot of inequality, because in the region where it developed, Punjab, in the South Asian area, there was a huge caste system. So believing that no matter, what your identity is, your walk of life, who your parents are, who your family is, your gender/gender identity, anything that people may think would differentiate you from others, you are equal to others no matter what. Everyone's equal. And then also standing up for those who can't. As a Sikh person, there's a lot of external factors of our identity. You'll see like a lot of people wearing turbans, bugs, that's just showing, or like I'm wearing a gutta. It's a external symbol of our religion and our faith. And it shows that if you're walking around and you see someone wearing a bug or a gutta, you're like, okay, I know I can go to this person if I'm ever in need of help, or if I ever just need someone. It's just that reminder to our faiths that we are here for people, we're here to help people, and everyone's equal in our eyes. Well, should be. That's just the way it is.
Thank you for that. I really like that. That was really nice. Thank you. Anyone else?
Sure. So kind of adding on to what Neela first said, in Islam, one of the most important things is the intention behind your actions. If you're helping someone homeless, you're not going to do it in a public square so everyone sees you and they're like, wow, what a good person who's going out and helping others, because you want people to think highly of yourself. But instead, you're doing it because you want to genuinely help the people, and it's all about like the intention. I want to help. I want to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
It's really important to do everything for like the sake of God.
Yeah, that ties along with like integrity, like when you're going to school and stuff. I guess like a lot of things center around integrity, and I think that's really cool that like you don't want to do things in public. So not that you wouldn't.
Yeah, and how you mentioned integrity, that kind of goes back to what you said. Like, if you see a piece of litter on the ground, most people are gonna walk right by it, because like, oh, it's dirty. Like, oh, I didn't drop it, so it's not our problem. But you're like, no, let me do my part. Let me be integrated. So I'll just come pick up this little piece of trash and throw it away because it's not that hard, Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like I don't always do it. Like sometimes I walk past and I see it and I'm like, not today, but a lot of times I'm like, you know what? I'm just like kind of annoyed that people just keep leaving their trash on the floor, so might as well pick it up.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. That's definitely understandable. I wasn't trying to say that you do it every single time. That's my bad. But yeah, no, but thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Any last thoughts for what is it that you care about?
I really like what everyone has said. I think having like respect and just being kind to everybody, like regardless of what they look like or who they are, is really important. And it would just make this world a little bit of a better place if everybody just had kindness and respect for each other.
Thank you. I know that's something that we can all agree on. Just have a respect for each other, treat each other the way that you want to be treated. So thank you. Moving on to the second question. It is, what stories from your religion or tradition motivate you to social action? Anyone have any thoughts?
I have one. So there was this time when a really long time ago, like in Mecca, they had to put the black stone, and there was 4 tribes, and so they were like fighting over like who should put it, because it was like a really important deal. And so they went up to the prophet because they knew that he was really like trustable and that he was a good problem solver and that he was a good leader. So they asked him to help him solve the problem. And he came up with the idea that each, like the most important member of each tribe holds 1 quarter. And so therefore they all like helped put the black stone. And it was just like, it's really important because they knew that like they could trust him and that he could be helpful for them and that he was a good leader. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Just having that trust. I feel like in every friendship and every relationship, just like in our everyday lives, we need trust because we don't always know that other person, but if we act like with integrity, like we were just talking about, if we act out of love, then I feel like it just makes people just more comfortable in general, and just we have easier lives. So thank you. Any other thoughts on any stories from your faith that motivate you to social action?
I guess I'll go. There's a couple of stories in the Book of Mormon that encourage like missionary work or other things, like including like Alma and Amulek going into, I think it's Ammonihah, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think. Anyways, basically like these guys go into the city where they were previously rejected, like preaching the word of God. And Oh yeah, and so they were commanded to go back there, and they knew they could be persecuted, but they still like decided to go back, and I thought that was really cool. And then Abinadi, he was actually it was like in a time where like people didn't really believe in our faith, and so like the people, the Nephites were like very wicked, and King Noah was doing all these things, like he had concubines and stuff that like don't go along with our principles of our gospel. And so he was basically sent to like in a vision, like to go tell King Noah that, we don't believe that. And so he went into this place knowing that King Noah was like super wicked and he would probably be put to death.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was imprisoned, and there's this picture that we have. I think there might be a picture in the Book of Mormon too, but with Abinadi in chains.
Let's take a quick break and shine the light on the host of this podcast, Christ Our Redeemer AME Church, or as we like to call it, COR. Pastor Ralph Williamson and our Irvine, California congregation have been a beacon of hope and faith in Orange County for over 25 years. At COR, we are a covenant community. Whether it's through Bible studies, family events, community outreach, or our uplifting worship services, both in person and online. Feel the love and connection waiting for you at COR. Visit us at www.corchurch.org to explore more about our mission and ministry. And if you've been blessed by our work, please consider supporting us by making a donation at www.corchurch.org under the Giving tab. Now let's get back to the show.
Yeah, like preaching the word, knowing that he could be killed, and then he basically promised that the same way that he dies, the rest of them will be put to death. So powerful words, and it did happen in the rest of the Book of Mormon. He was like killed by fire. So, but I think it's really cool and powerful that they both, all of them still taught, even though they knew they could die because of it.
Thank you for sharing that. I've never heard that story, but thank you for not telling me about that. So now I'm knowledgeable about it. So thank you, because that is an amazing story. Like that seems very intimidating to go into this place to tell someone that they need to stop what they're doing, even though you know that you could be killed for it. But yeah, and even in today's society with so many things going on and so many wrong things going on, and we may feel convicted by our God within our faith to go and preach, to go and stop something, to go and speak out against something, but we know that we might get chastised for it. But to still have that bravery to go and do it is definitely something that takes a lot of courage. But drawing on the strength from our faith is definitely something that is attainable for sure. So thank you for saying that.
Of course.
Any other thoughts from stories, or maybe any historical figures who identify with your faith as well, who you see as role models? Anything?
One person that I find pretty inspiring in my religion is a Punjabi singer named Diljit Dosanjh. And I think that his entire, identity is really inspiring because in our religion, well, I'm sure in many religions, that it was like a really dark history of, people being persecuted and people having to because in our religion, a lot of people keep uncut hair as a sign of discipline and equality and respect. So a lot of people, to hide their face, they would cut their hair, or they'd stop wearing turbans. And Diljit Dosanjh, he was in the Punjabi film industry. And in order to get into the Bollywood film industry, which is like the bigger industry in India, he would have to cut his hair, not wear a turban, and kind of look more not sick. And he refused to do that. He was like, I'm not going to get into the Bollywood industry if I'm going to just cut my hair. I'm going to stay true to myself, stay true to my religion. I'm not going to do that. just because you guys won't accept me, just because you guys won't see a Punjabi Sikh man in the Bollywood industry. So I thought that was really powerful because, for one, I have cut hair because like that was a choice that I made. So like I also struggled with my own faith. So seeing him do that was really inspiring because it was like, he just did not take no for an answer. He said, no, I'm gonna stay here until you guys can accept me because this is on you, this is not on me. You guys are not ready for my culture, me, so I'm not gonna change. So I thought that was really powerful. So I'm just gonna carry that with myself because that's also part of our religion in general, that like these are such important factors of our religion, being identifiable in public in a positive way. Like you can come up, you can ask us for help. We represent equality. We represent, the good of humanity, not like that we're taking on this effort, but like that we just want to help out. Selfless service, selfless seva is what we call it. So like, I just think that's really cool. So I'm gonna just take that forward for me. Like, I'm not gonna try to change who I am in any way, culture, religion, etc. Like, if y'all can't accept me, that's your problem.
That's for that one.
Yeah, I relate a lot.
So much, Ravina. That was amazing. Thank you.
I relate. Oh, sorry. I relate a lot of the story that you said. A lot of times, like, people were like, no, you're not Jewish. You don't look Jewish and, you don't act Jewish and all that. And I'm like, okay, sure. And if that's what you want to think, cool. Go take your opinion somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Jewish and ain't nobody going to tell me I'm not Jewish. And I'm going to stand by it. And I'm just going to be me. I feel you on that. And I don't know. I was just like, yeah, I mean, I relate. Yeah, like, I like that. But yeah.
I agree with you here. I don't know. You don't know how many times people like just start a conversation with me like, okay, you're Mormon. Like, and I'm like, okay, like, thanks for telling me what I am. Like, I know what I am. Like, I have my own choice. I choose to do what I choose to do. And it's like, just because I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints doesn't mean that I don't have free agency. And so like, it kind of hurts sometimes when people are like, of course you can't do that. Like, you're Mormon. Like, I can do like whatever I want. I choose not to.
Yeah. It's like, it's my choice.
See, like, I'll tell someone I'm Muslim and they go, where's your hijab? Like, it's in our religion, like, it can be your choice. Like, okay, eventually you have to put it on, but it's a really big, like, commitment and choice to make. And so when people say that, it's like they wouldn't understand because it's not like, it's a really big commitment. So it's not that easy. Yeah. Like, that doesn't define me if I wear a hijab or not.
And that's what I really like about, like, this, because we're like, I'm Jewish, but like, I'm not very religious, like on point, but I'm a Jew my own way, I'm a Jew on my terms,
like,
and I'd like to each individually like that. Yeah. Like you're Mormon on, Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. Yeah, sorry. But, on like everyone's different, and I really like how we're all open to that. And
like someone who wears a hijab can be a really bad person next to someone who doesn't. Like, they can have better character, but like wearing the hijab doesn't mean like you're the best Muslim out there. It's just really about the way you act. And like, just because I don't right now doesn't mean I don't plan on it. Like, it's just not other people's place to say anything.
Yeah, the title doesn't like mean anything. It's your actions. So like, just like, I don't know, like the thing about not judging people, like just because you're Jewish, just because you're Muslim, just because you're Christian, just because you're also Muslim and because you're Sikh. Like that doesn't define who we are. It's what we do with it. And like, people just take that and disrespect people all the time. And I don't agree with it.
Bye.
Thank y'all for that. I love that. That's what this podcast is about. Just a dialogue and bouncing off of each other and just being your true, authentic self. So thank y'all so much. Any last thoughts? And the question was, what stories or what people from your religion or tradition motivate you to social action. But if you have any thoughts about anything, you can feel free to express your truth.
Okay. I have a story, but first I'd like to say I love Doja. He's a really great singer. Hey, really? But I had no idea about like the whole Bollywood thing. So that's really cool. And I'd just like to tell a story about the Prophet Muhammad. And he lived in Saudi Arabia, and at the time he was not very popular when he was alive. And he had a neighbor who like went out of her way to leave trash on his doorstep every single day without fail. And he would always clean it up. He wouldn't complain, whatever. And then one day he noticed that like the trash just like stopped. And he was like, what happened? It was so like out of the ordinary. And he went to check on the neighbor, and she was actually sick and on her deathbed. And despite everything that she had done for years on end, he stayed with her, and he took care of her as she was dying and when she was sick. And she actually ended up converting to Islam before she died. And he went out of his way to make sure she had a proper Muslim funeral and burial. And even though she had hated him for so long and had made his life so like literally smelly and gross. And I think it's a very beautiful story that really like expresses a sentiment of care for yourself the way you would care for your neighbor. And in that sense, a neighbor is, at least the way I was taught at Islamic school, was anyone within like a 40 house radius of you. And so that's not really like your neighbor. That's a lot of people. And so care for almost your entire community the way you would want to be taken care of. And so that drives me a lot of times to just like see someone on the street, like, do you need help? Like, how can I help someone in a different way?
Yeah. There's actually like a hadith, which is like a quote of the Prophet when he said, love for your neighbors what you love for yourself. And so basically it's just like always like caring for others. Like even if you have everything you could ever want, like always look out for other people and just make sure everyone around you is doing good.
Salma, I loved when you said that that he came back and still helped out that neighbor even though like she had left trash on his door for that many years. Because we in my church we also practice forgiveness. I feel like everyone does, but
for Jews too, we practice forgiveness.
Yeah, everyone practices forgiveness, but it can be really hard. And I think if I had a neighbor who was leaving trash on my doorstep every day, I would probably like, not to say like hate, but I would probably throw hands with them. Like, that's not cool. Like, just kidding. But that's really inspirational that not only did he not like do anything in response, but like he helped her later. So that's just a lot of
restraint and patience. It's incredible how I try to be.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much. Again, this is towards the end of the podcast. So if anyone had anything else on their mind that they wanted to express, anything that another person said that you liked, that you wanted to comment on again and validate them in, this is your chance to do that. But if not, we can go ahead and end here. But if you would like to say anything else, feel free.
I was just going to say thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. Y'all were wonderful panelists. Thank y'all for representing your own faith and how you represent yourself. So thank y'all so much. Again, this is the Interfaith Youth Alliance, and this has been Core Focus Podcast. Thank y'all so much and have a blessed day.